So guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. So guys, there seems to be a bit of an issue going on with Dmitry Bivol here. Dmitry Bivol is looking for a Beterbiev fight. But Beterbiev is obviously fighting Callum Smith. So when Bivol says he's looking for a Beterbiev fight, he says he wants Beterbiev next. The Canelo Alvarez fight is not happening. He's saying Canelo Alvarez wants the fight on the same terms. Canelo Alvarez apparently is Bivol is not playing ball. He feels he's being disrespected. That how can it be that Canelo gets the same terms? Usually for a rematch clause, the contract is already set in stone. So if this contract is already set in stone, what's the issue? Or maybe the contract hasn't been set in stone, and Bivol is basically saying, nah, that's nonsense. I do agree with Bivol a little bit. I think Canelo, he lost the fight. And if Bivol is the champion, yeah, Canelo might be bringing all the revenue and stuff. But at the end of the day, I mean, he lost that first fight. So now it comes to the point where what does really Bivol gain from that fight? He doesn't really gain a lot. You know, so Bivol's probably thinking that, look, I want more money this time. You know, and if, like I said, the contract for the rematch wasn't set in stone, Canelo doesn't really have a leg to stand on. Then it comes down to the fact that, does Canelo want the... See, this could be a good way of Canelo to kind of swerve it, because for me, Canelo, and it could be spun in a way where Bivol was being difficult, you know, because at the end of the day, Canelo right now has got other options that are very financially lucrative. And I think Canelo should pursue those options rather than trying to pursue a Bivol fight, which, look, it's going to be a very tough fight. He probably loses that fight. So why pursue that option when there's fights like Benavidez that are financially more appealing, financially more money? There is also rumors that Canelo Alvarez could fight Jaime Munguia. Now, how true that is, I don't know. That's not a fight that I really want to see. But if Canelo can't get Benavidez or Bivol next, I don't know why there couldn't be a Benavidez fight next. I don't know what. There's reports that, you know, Benavidez, his team have offered him 50 million or whatever. But for Bivol, let's talk about Bivol. I'm confused to what Bivol does here, because Bivol, who's he going to fight? That's what I'm confused about. If he doesn't get the Canelo fight, the Beterbiev fight ain't happening next, because Beterbiev is fighting Smith. Is that fight happening in June or July? I can't remember exactly when, but that fight's happening soon. Then Beterbiev's going to want to rest, right? Beterbiev's going to want to rest a couple months. So is Bivol just going to wait? When was the last time Bivol fought? Bivol fought, was it last year? When did Bivol last fight? Was it November, December? I can't remember when the last time Bivol fought. I think it was at the end of last year against Gilberto Ramirez, because he fought Canelo in September, and then he fought Ramirez in December. I think it was around then. I can't remember exactly. So that now is in 2023, and we're halfway through it now. We're in June, right? He isn't going to fight in June. He's not fighting in July. If he's waiting for Beterbiev, that's going to happen at the end of the year, which means he's only going to fight once this year. Again, I always slam boxers that, look, the inactivity is too much. The boxers are too inactive these days. They don't fight enough. Very frustrating as fans, very frustrating. We never get to see these best guys fight, probably because they're getting paid too much. But Bivol needs to fight. And I don't know who he fights, to be honest with you. Obviously, he can fight somebody, but Bivol right now is looking for a big payday. Because Bivol's at that stage where he's looking for belts, and he's looking for legacy, and he's looking for money. And unfortunately, if he fights some random guy, like maybe he fights Buatsi or fights whoever, just say, that's not really doing anything for him. Financially, really, that's not really doing anything from a legacy point of view, and it's not doing anything from a belts point of view. So that's what Bivol wants. So Bivol's in a bit of a difficult spot here. You know, because Beterbiev is fighting. Beterbiev is actually fighting regular. But Bivol at the minute, he's probably trying to negotiate with Canelo. Something tells me that eventually they'll get the act together. And maybe, I personally think for Canelo, this is a great way to swerve this fight. And I'm not saying before some of the Canelo fans come at me, I don't think this is I don't think it's swerving is sensible. Because to me, I don't really think Canelo should be looking to go there anyway. I even think Canelo could potentially clean out cruiserweight. I do. I think some of the champions there are weak. They're weak. I mean, Canelo for me beats Badu Jack comfortably. Canelo for me, J.R. Pataya would be like, for me, he beats Billum Smith. So for me, Canelo could beat a lot of the cruiserweight guys. Honestly, I think he could even, if he goes up there, he definitely wins a world title. But could he clean those guys out properly? I mean, those guys at cruiserweight, that's a very weak division right now. I mean, we just saw Coley get beat by Billum Smith, who I think Canelo would beat, by the way. And I think the only guy in the cruiserweight division that's a champion right now that will possibly cause Canelo some issues is J.R. Pataya, the way he boxes. But the rest of the guys, I mean, they're washed or they're not that great at cruiserweight. So I think Canelo probably has a better chance of going there and doing much better than he has at light heavyweight. And I actually think if guys like Bivol and Beterbiev move up, I think they could do damage at that cruiserweight. Even though the cruiserweight guys, they're big in that, but they're very poor. Very poor. I mean, they're limited fighters at that cruiserweight division. And yeah, I think Canelo could probably win a world title there, to be honest, if he wants to. You know, but again, I just think that Canelo probably should stop messing around with his weight. More than anything, forget the cruiserweight fights. We need to see Canelo fight Benavidez. We need to see some of those fights. So I think it's a great way of Canelo kind of this saga with Bivol to kind of put Bivol behind him and start fighting the 168 pounders. Forget Bivol for the time being and fight the guys at 168. I think that'd probably be better for Canelo. And it's a great get out card because obviously Bivol's kind of, he's being difficult and rightfully so because he probably deserves a better split and stuff in the rematch. But yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let me know what you think and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.